Thank you, Deputy Speaker. I rise today to speak on and debate the government business program, following on from the terrific contributions by my colleagues, the member for Evelyn and the member for Morwell. I might have something to say about the member for Point Cook's contributions later on, but of course we have a bit of a different schedule this week. We have today, on Tuesday, the committee reports debate and grievance debate, which normally occur on a Wednesday, and we have the Thursday schedule on a Wednesday. But it's no surprise, Deputy Speaker, that this week's government business program is dominated by the State Taxation Amendment Bill 2025 and the appropriation bills debated cognitively. These are, of course, standard pieces of legislation that follow the handing down of the state budget. What may be a surprise, of course, is that this is one of the few occasions where we are not opposing the government business program. But not opposing the government business program does not mean that we will not be wholeheartedly debating the content of these pieces of legislation this week in the substantive debate, because there is a lot to take issue with. And indeed, in the opposition, we welcome the opportunity to scrutinise the government. Now, many colleagues will want to talk about the budget this week with the appropriation bills and the state taxation bill. In particular, I'm looking forward to this being kicked off by the member for Brighton with his budget reply later on this morning. Now, make no mistake, Deputy Speaker, this isn't just a budget response, it's damage control. We already had a week of spin last week, and we have more spin this week, all designed to distract from Labor's failures, and in particular, their debt, which is rising to $194 billion in just a few years' time. That is, Deputy Speaker, $29 million of taxpayer-funded interest every single day. That's $1.2 million every single hour in interest payments. That is more than one home every single hour. So across the day, you've probably got 25 or 26 homes. Imagine how many of that is across the year. How many public houses could be built with that sort of money that is instead being spent on interest payments? And many speakers on the opposition this week will want to talk about things like the fact that with such a debt level and with such interest payments, we have cuts from the government, and also we have more and more taxes. We have seen cuts to things like fisheries officers, which has affected my electorate in particular. Fortunately, they have backtracked after much advocacy from me and others in terms of keeping the Mornington office open, but there are many other cuts to fisheries across Victoria. We see cuts to public schools as well, with a $2.4 billion cuts from public schools. And we see more and more taxes. Indeed, I think we're at over 60 new or increased taxes under this government. And in particular, and we saw major protests last week about the new emergency services tax, something that will affect so many farmers in particular, CFA volunteers, and so many people right across Victoria from the city to the country. Well before that new tax came into place, which we debated until early in the morning, I had the VFF Peninsula come to me, I had many CFA brigades come to me saying that this is not the thing that we should be doing. They came to me with alternative ideas of what the government should be doing, and I presented those ideas, but typically I received no response. And we saw with the emergency services tax the other week, backroom deals with the crossbench days before the budget to ram through this new tax, just in time to protect their wafer-thin surplus and spin their way through budget day, with the Treasurer claiming that there were no new taxes. Victorians are fed up, and Victorians know better. Farmers in particular know better, and anyone who's opened a rates notice knows that this government's form when it comes to squeezing every last cent out of households. Now, I know that many speakers this week will speak on the appropriations bills and call out what is being done in the government, but there's many things that we'll be presenting in the opposition as well. We are committed to scrapping the emergency service tax, as well as with the patients tax, the schools tax, the holiday and tourism tax, and the member for Brighton will have much more to say in his budget reply about how we actually do proper economic management in Victoria, how we actually give hope and opportunity to Victorians instead of more and more taxes.
The question